interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Prince Harry apologized for wearing a Dodgers hat instead of a Blue Jays hat to a World Series game. Has one of your clothing choices ever caused a stir?
Tony Kornheiser, I don't know about a stir, but that lambskin mankini definitely caused a rash.
Ew.
Caused a rash.
You know what we call Prince Harry at my house?
No.
Purple and long.
Oh, well, did she go to Northwestern?
I'm sorry?
Megan went to Northwestern. I didn't know that.
Get out.
She went to Northwestern?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Undergrad.
I had no idea.
Yes.
I had no idea. Wow. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the NFC West faces itself. Drake May takes on Baker Mayfield, and a college game tomorrow with potential playoff implications. But we begin today with last night's 10-7 Denver win over Las Vegas, a game where you could probably hear snoring in the stands. The Broncos' game-winning field goal came as a result of a blocked punt late in the third quarter. This was Denver's 7th win in a row, and their 8-2 record is the best in the NFL. Wilbon, does this win make you think more or less of Denver?
Tony, that's a totally worthy question. And my answer is not going to fit, because it doesn't make me have any opinion of Denver. Not that game. Maybe the whole body of work, and they keep coming from behind in the fourth quarter, and they lose. They're losing at some point in every game.
Yes.
But that game last night, that was dreck.
Yeah.
That was awful. That is why you can look at the Thursday night product and say your Thursday night product, NFL, is junk. Because the teams either don't appear ready to play, don't appear just capable of doing what it is their coaches are asking. Because I feel that the Broncos are better than that. And so I want to judge them not on what I saw last night, but on the rest of the season. And based on that, I'm still fairly impressed with the Broncos.
I will say this, that the concept of a Thursday night game has some inherent problems because you have played on Sunday and you don't get much time to do it. But I have been, I would say, in the defense of the schedule, they're at least putting division games out there, which have inherent meaning. So this is what I'm going to say.
And this had one.
If you are winning a division game, I don't care how you win it or by how many, it is, in my mind, a good win because it's a division game.
On that.
So this, I'm not going to sit here and denigrate that win because it was a division win. Even though Denver showed no offense whatsoever. On the other hand, the Raiders are 15th in the league in terms of allowing yards right in the middle, so that's pretty good. Denver showed a very good defense. Denver sacked Geno Smith.
Their pass rush is historically good.
They sacked Geno Smith 6 times. They hurried him about 200 times. I'm reluctant to sit here and say Denver's done. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because I think this is the way they win games. As you're saying, they win close, they win late, and they only score the 17th most points in the entire league, so they're not a big offensive team, and this is pretty much how they do it. Let me go to my notes here because I wrote some stuff down. A win like this causes a certain amount of reservation because, yes, they are 8-2, but this is not a wow win.
They don't have any wow
This
wins.
is not a win where you say, "Oh, that's a championship."
They won it. No. They got one wow win.
So they're like marching in place. It's not artistic. It's not a statement win. But what does Herm say? Hello, we play to win the game.
There's another wow win they need to have.
Well, the Kansas City win this coming week. So I'm sure you'll join me in holding off.
Holding
until
that's what I said. Last night is not going to inform our judgment.
But if they beat Kansas City,
then that's
a different deal. That's a
division change.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
All right, then let's move from the AFC West to the NFC West. 3-5 Cardinals take on the 6-2 Seahawks Sunday afternoon, while the 6-2 Rams face the 6-3 Niners. Sean, which of these 4 teams do you favor to win this division? I know we'll get one eliminated right off the top.
Okay. So I think the hot and trendy pick is Seattle, and I understand it. Because Sam Darnold has started out this year in Seattle the way he started out last year in Minnesota.
Yep.
He is an MVP candidate. I believe that Seattle will have little trouble beating Arizona. Arizona is in disarray at quarterback unless Jacoby Brissett is absolutely the answer.
Be careful.
But it is very hard for me not to like the Rams. Because every time I see the Rams, I think they're pretty good. They had a loss to Philadelphia. They could have won that game. They're trying a game-winning field goal. It gets blocked and returned for a touchdown. How often does that? It never happens. They lose to San Francisco 26-23 in overtime. So both those games are games that were winnable for them, and they could be conceivably undefeated. For me, the trump card is Matthew Stafford. He is the only quarterback in this division who's ever actually won a Super Bowl, and I understand that Darnold is more highly rated right now, and I get that. But the numbers on Stafford, I believe, are 21 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Stafford's having a great season.
I'm going to go with that.
Whatever. All that back trouble that was going to keep him from being any good the first few weeks of the season, man, that's a long time ago. By the way, neither one of us is going to pick the Cardinals.
Right.
But the Cardinals should be 6-2. The Cardinals had double-digit leads. They frittered away in 3 different games.
You care about them because they're Arizona and you're out there.
I said I care about them. I watched them, and I know they're better than that record indicates. So they could beat Seattle. I favor Seattle to win the division. And by the way, San Francisco's got a fascinating game coming up because they do play the Rams. They've already won one of those.
That's right.
But the loss of Warner, the loss for Warner to that team is something that you cannot
overcome. They go through
overcome.
this season, everybody's hurt all the time.
They do, but they also still manage to wind up standing off and late in the season.
Because they got a really good coach.
Yes, they do.
As do the Rams, and apparently do the Seahawks.
Seattle.
That's right.
I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going to stay with the hot hand with Darnold.
Right.
With the acquisition of a wide receiver, which makes that offense even more potent.
That's right.
So I'm going to go with Seattle in this with a narrow win over Phoenix. Narrow win. But those 3 teams, that division is fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very good division. I do like San Francisco, except they always get hurt. But you look at what Kyle Shanahan does. Mac Jones is on the exact same level as Brock Purdy at the moment.
It seems.
You know, because he can do that. Obviously, Sean McVay can do that. Both of these guys have been, I think, to 2 Super Bowls at these particular stops. And Sean McVay won one with Stafford. Yes, it's a very competitive, very good division. I think you overrate the Cardinals a little bit, but I think you pay attention because you watch
The
it.
Cardinals are going to, at best, be like 7-11. That's not that. My point is, they're a tough out, right? And Seattle's not going to romp on Sunday.
Actually, I think Seattle might romp this week, I think. Let's move to college football and the biggest game on the board this week. Undefeated and 7th ranked by the committee, BYU. At once beaten and 8th ranked Texas Tech. Wilbon, you've been geeked about this game for weeks. These are the 2 highest rated teams in the Big 12, so does it feel like a playoff berth could be at stake in this one?
Yes, I do feel that way, Tony, because I think the committee is going to hose the loser. And I just think the committee will have no respect for the loser because it's not in the Big 10 or the SEC. That's how the committee rolls. I'm not jumping up and down screaming about it, but that's how it rolls. Because those two teams are not poor sisters, to use an old term. They got money. They have resources, those 2 schools. Their football programs are well funded, but they are not big brands. And it seems to me the committee is swayed by brands. SEC, Big 10, and the biggest brands within those individual brands. So the loser of this game...
I wouldn't put Indiana in that category in football.
Well, but you know what? Indiana's had a year.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Indiana's gaining.
I'm saying it's a generalization that may not work all the way down the line.
Okay, but you know why it does work now? Because Indiana's been a big brand in all kinds of sports for decades.
Yeah, but not in football.
No, but Indiana last year got into this tournament, all right? And so when you see them again, it's like a kid who comes back for a sniff at the Heisman.
Yeah,
the second year, you got a better chance at this thing. And so Indiana's a much bigger brand than the 2 schools we're talking about right now, Texas Tech and BYU.
I will say this, that I think if BYU beats Texas Tech, it's over for Texas Tech in terms of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they become a 2-loss team in what we both think might be a 1-bid conference, right? I mean, and